Hello world and good everyone. It is your boy, the Halal Developer, and I'm back again to give you the best of what I will be giving here in my channel. And today, uh, all right, I'm trying to get our guest for today live in the video. All right, he's live. He's live. All right, so in today's video, which is titled "Web Dev on the Go," that is learning on your busy schedule. You pardon me, everyone watching this video. I am presently in my village, and I hope that the network does not, affect this video. But notwithstanding, we'll have to do what we need to do. And yes, the purpose of this video is to target um, the students in various universities and also civil servants or staff of different workspace that want to actually start a career in tech or learn web development. So with me in this video is my mentor, is my instructor, is my tutor. I run to him anytime I need assistance when it comes to the web development space. So yes, we have him live, Mr. Oche Park uh, uh Park Doctor, ParkcodeDr, sorry, ParkcodeDr. So it's nice having you, sir. It's nice having you, and not to waste time or not to I know you are very, very busy on your side there. So we like to hear you say hello or hello world, as we used to print hello world first now. So just say hello world.
Okay, hello world.
Yeah, nice, nice, nice. You're alive for real. Okay, so we'll start this video by having you introduce yourself. I would like to do that, but okay, let me do some bit of what I know about you, and then I'll ask you some things that you can tell us so that we'll get to know more about you too. Mr. Oche, Park Co-Doctor. I don't get to use this name to call him, so that's why it's hard. No vex boss, I beg. Okay. He was one of the people that groomed me in 2021 when I was chasing my tech dreams too, in my internship at HIT PLC. He did a great job with me, seriously. I think he even went as far as teaching me a framework of a PHP Laravel. Even though I didn't get to continue to, pardon me, sir. I deal with you. I will still not come with you again. So this is a bit of what I know. Let's hear the rest from him. So, sir, you tell us about yourself, your name, where you're from, where you studied, the university you studied, and what you studied, and then lastly, what you are doing presently. I know you're a web developer, a professional web developer for that matter. So let's just hear it from you. Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oche Sunday, popularly known as ParkcodeDr. So I can actually start from the origin of the name. So during my IT,
Yes.
I had a lot of people around me, which I helped to debug their code. So when they run into problems, they actually look for me to debug it, and then they start calling me the code doctor. So if anybody's code is not running, they'll bring it to my table and they say they are taking it to the doctor of code.
Yeah,
So that's the origin of the name.
that is what.
Uh, I'm a graduate of computer science from Benue State University, Makurdi, and I'm a full stack web developer. Uh, I've been building for over 5 years.
Nice.
Uh, and then currently I work with paper.io. It's an e-commerce platform that provides uh, the buyer kind of security. That is an escrow service, which enable you to shop online without any fear of losing your money, and also the fear of what I ordered versus what I get. So that is
Oh,
what the solution is all about.
nice.
I currently work there as a software engineer, and it's nice out here with you guys. So the main thing we are talking about today is web dev on a go. That is learning how to code even with your busy schedule. You can actually create a spare time to actually make things happen. Because in the tech space, everyone is it accommodates everyone, so it's very accommodating field, and it has a lot of areas which you can specialize on. Without saying much, we'll handle the mic back to you, and then we'll
All right.
proceed. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
All right. Nice. I think what caught my attention, I've known Mr. Oche for 2 years. Park code doctor, forgive me. Park code doctor. I'm repeating this. You don't stay now. Okay, so I've known him, but I didn't grab the part of 5 years of experience. 5 years plus of experience. So this shows that yes, he can guide me and guide you on how to become a web developer on the go. So dear viewers, beloved subscribers, before we continue, please, if you get to this part of the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to your friends and family. Many people want to become, or many people want to start a career in tech, and they really don't know how. This is the aim of this video, to guide as many people as possible. And yes, you can always share this video to anybody and everybody. So the title has been clearly mentioned. It has been clearly mentioned, web dev on the go. So, sir, why we are looking at this topic, or why I wanted to discuss this topic with us, is I'm very sure you started your tech or web development career while you were in school. You were a busy person at that time. And then after school, of course, you had some other responsibilities that you have to cater for, and you need, money to do these things. And then you were, of course, still learning. You were still learning on the long run, or as on the go. Yes, you were still learning on the go. Some other frameworks, or some new tech and new tools that kept coming up. So, sir, you'll be discussing with us the topic web dev on the go. Give the steps you use, the roadmap you took, the road you passed, the way you trek. Is it bicycle you use, or you drove a car, or you use the private jet? How were you able to navigate through the hard side of or the yes, it's hard. It's not easy, no lies. So it's not easy. Nothing good comes easy, of course. So how were you able to navigate through this hard road, this rough road, through your car, your bike? I know you use the private jet, sir, so I trust you. So tell us in 10 minutes, discuss with us. Feel free, tell us from your experience, from your friends you've met, from your work experience, from your experience, personal experience. Tell us how one can become a web developer on the go. If you're a student in school, 4 years, 5 years degree, 7 years degree, if you are a staff that works 9 to 5, how can you do this? So I'll hand over the mic back to you, and then let's hear you give us what you can give. And I trust you to do the best of what you can. Thank you, sir.
Okay. The journey as a software developer is actually a hard one. And then comparing it with the fact that studying computer science in university is also another thing on its own. So the major problem that comes in is you balancing your skills, that is in terms of results rate, and then your practical skills. It's actually a hard thing to do. But how I set out time was I put out the evening classes from 7 to 10. I use that to read my books, study some data structures, some kind of other kind of computer algorithms and all of that. The one that has to do with the theoretical aspect, I think handled at that time. And then after that time, I now proceed to learn how to code. That was maybe around 10, 11, 12, sometime to 1. And then I was able to cover. And then at the end, I was able to come out with a good grade and also with the practical skill to show for it. And yeah, so the idea behind it is for you have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Because over the years, I've learned several stack and frameworks. I can say that we started from the basics, which is the HTML and CSS. That was practically around 2012. We started to learn HTML and all of that. And then we transited to trying to handle the interactivity, which is trying to learn some of JavaScript concepts. And then we were building web application with Glassfish server, JBoss, and the last one we did was something different. And then we later started to learn Android along the way. And when we started learning Android, uh, we actually did something with it. I built one app called the NACC prayer app. It's just for Catholic coppers app, a kind of manual that has all the prayers in it. And then, but one thing about the tech space is if you want to actually uh, do something to be profitable, you have to do research and look at the ecosystem around that particular tools or technology. That is when you run into problem, you could actually have thousands of resources that will help you to debug the problem. And then I started getting called for mobile development, but the request was around cross-platform because you want to build one source code and it's safe for both Android and iOS. And then the request for a cross-platform development uh, this thing, language came in. And then at that point, I had no knowledge of Flutter or React Native, which I use commonly for mobile app that cross-platform. So I had to take my time off that lane because actually I love mobile development in Asia. I love mobile development. So I had to go on with Node.js. So I went in full, but after then I learned Laravel. I learned Laravel before then. So I now went into Node fully, which is I went full time JavaScript, which I can build the front end with React. I can build the back end with Node.js. So the journey has been learning and unlearning. So at some phase, I also learned Java FX for desktop application. But in the process, I learned that particular skill and then learn a new one. All right. And then I get to the point, the Android wasn't actually bringing what I actually needed. I had to unlearn Android and then try to learn a new thing around it. So it goes around learning and
Learning and
unlearning.
learning. Nice one.
Yes, you actually learn and unlearn
Nice.
because along the way you actually learn a lot of things. And then the one thing that could keep you going is having a mentor, right? When you
Mentor.
have a mentor, you don't learn things that you don't need because as a freebie, you can actually jump on resources online. That is why you see somebody who update their profile on LinkedIn saying he does React, Vue, Angular, and maybe around about 4 different frameworks for front end. One person says he's doing it perfectly. Maybe some of those things happens as a result of you when you see something that has been done nicely on a framework, you quickly jump on it as a newbie, start learning it, and then along the way you see a kind of new stuff, you jump on it, and at the end, before you realize, you spend like almost 4 years learning different kind of stack and tools, which you are not proficient with any. Right? That's a very hard path why you try to navigate through all by yourself. So the one thing that solves that problem is having a mentor, somebody that could actually give you a guideline, somebody that could give you what you actually need to learn to be able to make it progressively. So that part actually shaped my whole career too. And then you try to attend meetups and you connect with other developers in the space. And then you bring up project idea, you start practicing because the best way to master this masterpiece is by actually practicing. You can actually read books and all of that, but when you practice every day, you pick new challenges. Some do it with 100 days of code. Some start pick particular tech stack and then do 100 days of code and start to put things up around it. And then learning through video tutorials is not always enough. Like that is the best approach to me that I've seen so far, but it's not always enough. when you go through some of those video tutorials, you try to reason in your own dimension. Try to look at something around you that you can actually create, find a problem around you. If you can actually think the system design phase, because that is the most difficult aspect of it, your system design analysis. Because when you have a system, when somebody brings you a BRD, a business requirement document for you to look at it, some might give you a user story or user journey for you to actually translate that idea into a working app. You need a lot of thinking around it, how you could structure your model, your managing your data types, and all of that could create an efficient way of you building other application. Because when you're building an app, you are looking at scalability in mind. You are building an app that could grow over the years. So it needs to be well structured. You are looking at efficiency. You need to use the right database tool and the right approaches for you to be able to retrieve data easily. And a good database model also helps you to actually put all of this in place, because from database management, we see that the length of a table also affects the query times. That is the time it takes to retrieve data from it. And then the more complex your data becomes, it becomes very complex for you to write some of those queries. And so that phase is also a crucial part of it, which is learning how to design and analyze the system before you go to the implementation phase of the software development lifecycle. Yeah, so basically, that's how I put my way around it. I always look at scheduling. It's a good thing to do, scheduling. So you have to put a schedule from 7 to 10. I read my books normally for me to be able to pass some of those algorithm tasks, passing of syntax trees when it comes to do with language processing and all of that. So you need time to actually focus. If you are in a business side, you need that time. I used to read that theory for your business. And then if you are a student, you actually need that to read your books. And then the other time I said, whether being a business person or a student, you can actually use the other time to actually learn how to code. And then you can be getting small tasks from your mentor. You have so that is my model which I use to survive throughout the university days.
All right. All right. All right. Nice. Okay. So this is based on your experience now, sir. So this is you've spoken, you've said it all very, very well. But now I want you to put it in words, like you are trying to advise me. Okay, yes, let's use me. I'm done with school, sha. I am even around my school environment to get my results. Alhamdulillah, I'm done. So to get my certificate so I can prepare for NYSC. Okay, I didn't tell you, okay, I'm telling you now. So yes, I'm preparing for NYSC and all those things. So wish me luck, wish me success. Thank you, sir. Okay, so uh if you were advising me as a student that okay, do like this. You have lectures from 6 to 6 probably. You have to do your assignment. You have to do your study for test. Now make up so amount of hours so that you can study code, even if it is 30 minutes, even if it is 3 hours, even if it is 1 hour. Help me to put it in words like this so that when the viewers are watching, they can say, okay, from my time, I can make up this time, or from my time, out of this, my time, busy time, I can make up this time for learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. After you answer this, I'm going to now ask you a question about it again. So, yes, sir.
Okay, so about that, uh, I actually use my holiday too to actually add more time, because in school you don't have much time to code if you are not in the computer science department actually. So during holiday, before I go back home, I normally download courses, programming courses, and then when I download them, I go home for holiday. by the time I'm returning back, I might have covered the whole concept of that particular language. Let's say for Java, I've covered classes. I've covered how to create objects, encapsulation, creating of all of those abstractions. So I actually used my holiday period to learn some of those things. And then when I come back, it's more of a revised process. Like I'm trying to revise. So when a lecturer is teaching, I just listen. It's just like trying to reverse. And then the other thing is I actually attend tech lectures as somebody who is a learner. I come with the mindset of a learner. I don't come as if it's a lecture. I am coming like, what is this course all about? I've been hearing about this. What is it all about? So by that approach, my whole attention is on it, knowing what it is, not actually because it's part of my lectures. And then as a student or somebody that having their NYSC, I know people have different PPAs, and then the level of engagement differs based on your PPA, based on primary assignment. So what I would advise is you try to create a spare time, even if it is 30 minutes, 50 minutes, or 1 hour. Try to learn a particular concept each day. You're trying to learn a particular concept, and then you put a plan for that particular course you are taking. From this time to this time, I'm supposed to cover this. This time to this time, I'm supposed to cover this. So, when you have that plan in place, you see that in no time you have actually covered what you actually want to cover without interrupting your normal schedule. So that planning is the most important part of it. So dedicate 30 minutes, 1 hour every day. Just try to achieve one particular task in a day. I think that approach works.
All right, nice. I think from this, yes, I get the whole thing now. Make up one, at least make up a time out of your busy time, and then 30 minutes, 1 hour, or 2 hours, whichever it is. So you've hit the hammer on every nail. One last nail before I now move to the main question and answer section. So for somebody who wants to start web development, for example, web development, that is even the aim of this video. So web development, how would web development majorly is mostly divided, categorized into three: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then their frameworks. This is actually for even front end. Then we still have the back end codes. You understand? But for, let's say, somebody who wants to go into this thing, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, how would you advise the breakdown of this code? How would you say, okay, start with this, get to know this from this level to this level, HTML, for example, then get to know CSS from this level to this level, then learn JavaScript? Because many of us, or many people that have come across, they tell you they've learned HTML, CSS, but when they go to JavaScript, they're like, this is the real code, and they stop or run away. You understand? They run to graphics design, for example. Okay, so yes, help us to break it down this way. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the ID part is starting web development, maybe with the backend, will not be interesting to somebody who is just a newbie. All right. So when you start from the HTML is a skeleton of the web. Just like you trying to build house, you need to put the blocks in place before you talk about buying other things that will actually stick the block together to form this house you're looking at. So we start with the skeleton of the web, which is HTML. You learn the HTML, how to put these things in a web. And then just like building a house, when you build a house, it doesn't look fine. You need to paint it, you need to plaster it and do roofing and all of that. So for that aspect, you are now looking at how to make it look beautiful, and then you apply the CSS. So you jump on CSS, try to make it beautiful. And then after making it look actually beautiful, you actually know that you have conquered one particular aspect of it, which is putting a good stuff out there. But the other part is, can it be interactive? Can somebody toggle something and something happens? Can it respond to users' input? And then that is the phase which you now bring in JavaScript to make some dynamic rendering, like you try to manipulate the DOM. So that is at the point you bring JavaScript in it. And then after making some of those things with JavaScript client side, you will now be looking at how do you manage the data that you are getting. Maybe you design a form, you make JavaScript to submit the form, but when after submitting, what happens? How do you store this data? You now be looking at how to put a database management system behind the hood, and then you transit to the back-end aspect of web development, and then you can connect it with any back-end language of your choice. You can either use PHP, Java, you can use JavaScript, Python, Ruby on Rails. There are a lot of them that you can actually use. So that is the progression for me, for somebody who is starting web development. When you see the physical look of it, it gives you more morale to do more and then to make it more interactive. So that is the sequence for me.
All right. Nice. I hope that when the viewers get to watch this, they should get that guideline and roadmap towards what it is. Now we move to the question and answer section. Some of the questions might have been answered during the course of the talk, but I will ask again so as to maybe you would have more things to say on that matter. So number one question is front end, back end, full stack. The question goes like this now. Yes, you mentioned it actually somehow that some people would like to start with the front end before going to the back end so that will motivate them. But then must all people, almost everybody go towards becoming a full stack? Can someone just, should it not be just that one can be a front end and then work with a back end engineer separately? How would you advise? Must everybody, the question now is, must everybody become a full stack developer? Yes, sir.
Okay, I actually asking which one to do, back or front? I didn't actually get the question correctly.
Okay, sorry. I said, we have front end, back end, and then the both of them together makes it full stack. So some people would want to just focus on one, but due to the fact that full stack, the name full stack, they might be pushed towards going to do back end, and then probably they feel like that is not my thing, and then they just give up on the whole thing. Now the question is, must everybody go full stack, and then you can state the benefits of being just a front end engineer or just a back-end engineer? You are both actually, but you can still help us to state the benefits of being just one and then being a full stack too. Yes, sir.
Okay, being a front end in this modern front end technology is actually not an easy task. So being a full stack is not actually a compulsory something. Front end is actually enough for somebody because there is a lot to do on the front end. Let's take, for instance, you are using React to do your front end. When you learn React, you learn how to manage state, you learn Redux, or maybe the context API. You learn how to design, either you use one of the framework, Bootstrap or Tailwind. You learn how to use Sass to actually make your CSS more lesser, for you to write lesser CSS. And then you can actually learn some other tools around the front end aspects, which is also a big task on its own. So being a front end is actually enough, or being a back end engineer is actually enough. The only advantage that comes with being a full stack is that you understand the both phase, you understand the flow. So as a full stack, if I'm working with anybody as a front end, I actually know how an API is built. So when you are building any API, you give me any API to consume, I actually know what I'm supposed to expect. And then if there is any deviation, I can actually give you a suggestion. That is why sometimes you write API specification document. That is, you specify the kind of response you want to be getting at the front that will make it easy for you to map through and show to the user. So with that regard, that is the only it's not the only one. Yeah, being a full stack, you actually understand the workflow from start to finish. Okay, so one can be a back end doing greatly as a back end, and somebody can also be a front end. You can actually do a great thing. Somebody can also be a DevOps engineer, which you are the one that handles server resource management, deployment of this app. Because in this modern day technology, we have front end, we have back end, we have DevOps teams that will actually manage deployment between operations and development. So it has its own advantage, which is for you to get a grasp of the whole idea. But being a full stack is not a mandatory task for the developer. Okay.
All right, all right. So in 1 minute, give a general motivation. We could use that our whole body, you understand? A general motivation to everybody looking into starting a career in tech.
Okay, so generally, I would love to say that every good thing takes time. So if you are actually learning, it might take you time to perfect it, but just put it at the back of your mind that every good thing takes time. And for you to be good at anything, you have to be consistent. You have to have that Z to excel. Errors shouldn't scare you. Okay. The more error you get, the more experience you get, because you might have come across a lot of errors. That is why most people want to hire somebody. They are looking at somebody with experience. The experience is not uh, a, a very big thing. They are looking at somebody who have encountered so many errors and the person knows how to fix it. Because you might come across an error that will take you like 3, 4 days, 5 days to fix. You have not fixed it. And then maybe because you have gone through that phase, when you encounter that kind of error in the future, you can actually solve it within 1 day because you actually know where the error is coming from. For somebody who doesn't have that experience, will be spending 2, 3 weeks trying to resolve that same error. All right. So every good thing takes time. That is the one thing I always want people to put at the back of the mind. When you continue learning, you continue learning. Just know that anything good takes time, and then it will actually pay off. Because I can remember when we used to buy 75 MB for 100 naira just to make sure we learn 1 or 2 things around the net. But you come today, somebody buying 40 gig is not even enough. They use 20 to buy data and all of that. So there's actually a reward at the end.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that is the ideal thing for me. Every good thing takes time.
All right, all right. So about to wrap up, In another 1 minute, leave an advice for me, the halal developer. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Yeah, like the first time I saw your request to subscribe to your channel, I was actually happy about it. And then I jumped on it to hit the subscription button. One thing I would like you to know is that you're doing a great job, and every one of us is proud of you, and keep doing your best. Uh, Keep looking at areas where people have difficulty, areas where people have challenge, like uh, people like to have second thought about. Look at those areas, bring them to the table, clarify them on some of those things, and you see yourself growing. One thing that is sure is when you serve good content, you don't need you don't need to tell somebody to hit that notification icon or to subscribe. Because
Abi.
when I come across good content, I'll actually say, where is this one coming from? In order for me not to miss something from him, I'll hit the subscribe button and I'll hit the bell icon. So
Yeah.
that is putting on good content rather than looking for subscribers. That is the one thing that I'll actually tell you to do. Yeah.
I for real, I appreciate this one. I appreciate this a whole lot. Like it's a very, very big advice. Thank you for your time, sir. I hope this content will be of great benefit to our subscribers and viewers. And I don't need to tell you to hit the subscribe button anymore. From what my boss has said, when you watch this video, your body should tell you, or your hand should move straight to that icon and then click. With so much love from RMC, sir. I know you have so many things to do. Please, you can go, and I will see you on the tech side.
All right, thank you very much. It's
All right.
actually a nice time.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to some other time.
Yes, sir. All right. So we are done on this side of today's video. We hope to have ParkcodeDr. I hope we heard how he got the name. He got the name from helping people to debug codes, and they gave him Code Doctor. Okay, so ParkcodeDr, I appreciate your time. Thank you for being a mentor. I will always run to you when I have problems for sure. And I've learned something, which is I'm going to learn, unlearn, and then relearn. Okay, learn, unlearn, and then relearn. Follow this circle, and then you know where you fit. We'll make mistakes. Our mistakes should make us and not break us. Okay, so when we make errors, when we make mistakes, this would help us to become better. With so much love from RMC, make sure to like this video, subscribe. I'm not supposed to tell you people again, Sha, so you should know by now that you should like, subscribe, and share so that I will see you on the tech side.